alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. I'll stare cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. You kiss your head when you cried for me. Hold your hand while the pain was over. Keep you all by the roaring sea. You meant the world to me. You meant the world to me. You meant the world to me. My darling dear, you never hear when I'm in pain, you hide and disappear like shadows in the atmosphere, charting the stratosphere. Yeah, I prayed for you and kept you near in hopes you'd chase away my fears. I'm on my own, you made it so, and now I'm chasing nightmares for you. Run with you through the great big leaves, laughing you when you laugh at me. Hope for us because I believe the home is just you and me. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I give you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. You meant the world to me. You meant the world to me. Oh, I'm gonna do this on my own. No point in blaming you, you did not know. Oh, I thought you were the one for me. That's why I give you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. You meant the world to me. You meant the world to me. Oh, I'm gonna do this on my own. No point in blaming you, you did not know. Oh, I'm gonna do this on my own. No point in blaming you, you did not know. Oh, I thought you were the one for me. That's why I give you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. I'm never gonna let you go, never gonna say goodbye, no. Never gonna give you up. I'm never gonna let you go, never gonna say goodbye, no. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna give, never gonna give. Never gonna give, never gonna give, never gonna give you up. Never gonna give, never gonna give. What went wrong today, eh? Why do I feel like I linger between the words to say, eh? To say the words you remember. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all. Lose it all. Lose it all. Feel it in your arms. Feel it in your legs. Feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head. Just let your body, 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 let your body, 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 let your body go and move to the rhythm. Now we will go back home today, eh? Until the very last hour. We still got a few more days to slay, eh? It's gonna get so much louder. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all. Lose it all. Lose it all. Feel it in your arms. Feel it in your legs. Feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head. Just let your body go, just let your body go, just let your body go and move to the rhythm. I wonder what went wrong today, eh? Why do I feel like I linger? Linger between the words you say, eh? Say the words you remember. More than lovers, destined to find one another. Like lightning and thunder, can't have one without the other. It was written in the stars. We can't be torn apart. We are linked together, ocean fire forever. We are linked together, together. Past the rings of Saturn, across the Milky Way, we're just waiting time. We'll pretend someday, speaking without words, in perfect harmony. I'll run away with you to another galaxy. It was written in the stars. We can't be torn apart. We are linked together, ocean fire forever. We are linked together, together.
I think we are in the air.
Yep. Hi. Hi, everybody. Greetings from Prague. My name is Elena from StagReisen company, and we are now here in Prague in quarantine, but it's starting to get more easier and easier. So I hope all of you staying safe and healthy. And for more like fun for this Friday evening, we decided to make this stream. I have a really interesting guest. Here is Tomas. Hi, Thomas.
Hello, guys.
So he's organizing really crazy activities. So I hope we're gonna make you evening really fun with our stories. So if you have any questions, you're free to ask us, or please tell us how you're doing, what's going on in your countries, how this Friday evening going for you. We'll be really glad to hear from you something. So let's start. Don't forget this is TELE DRINK, so pour your drinks. So I have Coke, rum and Coke. What do you have, Tomasz?
I have vodka and Sprite.
Okay, so I prepared big drink, so I won't interrupt while we
You're
are talking.
prepared.
So yeah, always prepared. It's our job to be always prepared.
That's true.
So let's drink. Whee! Chin chin.
Chin.
So Tamas, tell us about like activities you're doing, about your clients, and about some fun parts of your work.
Okay, so I will introduce myself. I'm Thomas Podlucky, and I'm doing this job, taking care of the clients that comes to play paintball for already 18 years, since I was 12. I was really a small organizer back then. I was going into work with my father. I need to be hide all the time because not even the guys in the office should know about me. So I was hiding behind the overalls in a car. My dad took me like 4 hours somewhere to Shumawa or somewhere else to make games for clients, and it was fun times. I like it. I like about this job that you always need to be prepared, even if you're not, because one time, for example, we forget to bring the most important thing from paintball equipment. As you know, we are shooting with guns, and those guns, they have like cylinders with air. In old times, it used to be CO2, and it was really hard to get by because now we have O2, like the oxygen, so it's very easy to go anywhere and they will fill you up, but with CO2, not so much. And this one action was really, really far from our office, and we need to go there for, let's say, 3 hours. So there was no chance after taking everything out and realizing that we don't have this air to, do anything about it. So there was luckily in a close vicinity to us, there was some guys that had a little bit of air, which is not compatible with the air in the weapons. So we cannot like make a full tank. So it was able to shoot only like, let's say, 60 bullets instead of 500, which we are used to. So I have to adjust the games. So we played Napoleonic Wars. That's when the guys, you have your weapon, you took them the loader out, and you give them just bullets into their hand, and they need to refill after each shot. They will be standing in the line, and just like in the old Napoleonic times, just say, okay, now is this side time to shoot. So they shoot, the other side will shoot, and they were closing up together. It was nice because in that time, not many people actually done something else than just classic capture the flag shooting. So the clients enjoyed it, and in the time when the gas was running low, my father was already back with some more, so that we played normal actions. And I think it's nice to let the people play and let them enjoy the game, even if it's not like 100%, but I still did enjoy it. So that's what I like about this work.
It's really important when you're organizing some events. It's really important for you to stay calm all the time, and
exactly.
like show that everything is under control, everything is fine. Because in our job, the specialty of like stag parties, we had a lot of funny stories. For example, because you have to control everything in advance. And once I was waiting for a group at the airport, and they had a really luxury like transfer to the city on a limo with a striptease girl. She is supposed to dance to them. Yeah. So party starts from the airport, and I called to the driver, I called to the girl, everything was fine, and then we She said that was also staying near near the
Sorry, I
airport.
had some connection lost for a while. So the last thing I've heard was that
Oh,
you were
sorry.
supposed to take them from a limo. It's maybe some just bad connection.
Yeah, so the girl told that she's in a limo already, and I took them there, and she wasn't. So she took the other limo, and she danced for other group. And then she told me that she entered, said, "Hi guys, I'm your dancer," and they were like, "Oh yeah, okay." They were really happy. So she danced for somebody else, but we had some pickup points near Davidska, so near the metro station, which is not far from the airport. So we picked her up, and she danced for the group, and nobody understood that something happened. So it was okay. So group saw that everything is fine, totally good. So yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, you always need to make the best of it.
Yes. Okay, we have somebody from Austria greeting us. So greeting to
Really?
Austria. Let's
Hi
drink.
guys, to Austria.
Hi.
Let's drink with us. Cheers.
Cheers. Yep. So, but what about Stag party on the paintball activities? Because from my experience, only big advice that I have for the groups not to put paintball or airsoft or other really physical activities early in the morning, because from my experience a lot of groups, they have a pub crawl in the evening on Friday, for example, or Saturday, and then they put paintball at, I don't know, 9 o'clock in the morning next day, and I'm coming to pick them up, and they're saying no, we are not going.
Yeah,
So yeah.
that's actually the easiest groups to manage, because all they do is lie on the field sleeping somewhere. But it's sometimes it's fun, sometimes they don't come, sometimes they come, but not really able to play that much. So they just share some drinks, play some games, and they usually just want to do the Stag game if they don't, are not capable of playing some more. And the Stag game is a very interesting concept that I've come by in this company, because never really played it on before, because the clients always want to only shoot the guy who's getting married. It's some form of humiliation, I guess. And that guy is not enjoying it that much, believe me. So I've even heard of one scenario when the guy was so pissed that everybody was shooting him that he just leave immediately and don't want to play anymore. So I was thinking to myself, okay, we need
Poor
to
guy.
adjust a little bit. Yeah, he really got it bad from what I heard. So I adjusted and I actually made a new game. The first game is like they want to do it, everybody against the guy who is getting married. But what they don't know is this game has two parts, and in the second part, they just come back to the back to the stage, and I will just take their weapons off. I fill the two weapons for the married guy, and I just send back the guys who shot him for the last 5 minutes, and I'm giving him timer like 3 minutes. It's yours. So he's just running there like Rambo, shooting everybody and having the greatest time. So everybody's really happy. Revenge, yes.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, it's I know it's all about the Stag, but yeah, for the paintball activity, it's all about the Stag. It's not so fun. And what about the costumes? Because for us, we have this kind of pray when we are waiting the group at the airport. We are praying, please God, I hope they won't be in some really how to say it nicely, expressive costume, some parts of the body, or these BDSM costumes, because you're gonna go with them all the weekend around the Prague in the most humiliating costumes, and yeah, it's fun. So what about because I saw on the paintball that Stag usually have some different costume than other boys.
They do. Sometimes they are funny, sometimes they're cute, but sometimes they are just straight horrific because we actually have one. I prepared it here, and that
Oh,
one is still haunting me in my dreams because
oh wow.
the client was so nice that he left it in there because he didn't want to have it anymore. So he left it to us. And in our company, you know, we are funny guys and we are working really hard and long, and we just want to treat ourselves some way. So it's not that you know. It's pretty common that you go back to the office and there is something waiting for you. For example, this little guy in the toilet scaring you off.
Oh gosh.
Can you see him?
Yeah.
Yeah, so imagine going to the toilet on the last minute and this is sitting there in front of you. So nearly shit my pants,
So
if I can say so, in this.
so the Stag was in
And
that costume, like running
yeah,
around.
in this
Yeah.
costume, running around, and now it's used as like a scarecrow in our office. So you need to be really careful before you open anything because this guy is waiting there for you.
Oh wow.
It's
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it can be scary and dangerous. Like
yeah,
the other part of our prey, it's like okay, first it's a costume, won't be so explicit like it can be, and the other
yeah.
part it's alcohol because okay, stag parties it's all about the drinking. They're coming here like to drink, to have a good time, but like you have to be at least a little bit responsible because the most like crazy history we had, I was waiting for the group of 20 people at the airport and they never came because they were so drunk already when they got into the plane that they had to like landed the plane somewhere in the middle because of them and took them back, so they never came. So not just for the paintball, for the stag party at all.
But for
So
the whole.
yeah, for the
Wow.
whole for the whole fun.
Let's hope they at least had enough fun in the airport, in the airplane. I think that's something to remember.
Oh yeah, it was a great stag party. We were in the plane. That's it. Okay,
Terrible.
Marcel came. Hello, Marcel. He is greeting
Hello,
us.
Marta.
Yeah, guys, send us what are you drinking, how are you doing too. We will be glad to hear from you also in our chat. Also about the drinking, once we had not so pleasant story, but kind of like teach you to be more responsible. Once the group they bought for the stag 20 shots of absinthe and he drank them, all of them. They made him like, I don't know, like a quest to do it, and he had a really bad time then in a hospital. So
I can only imagine.
so it can be also dangerous a little bit. What's the most dangerous activity do you have? Like, because I know you have something like axes, like throwing.
Yeah.
And
Actually, the most dangerous activity, that's just the access, yes. Because even if you're trying to do as best as you can to be safe, if people cannot hold their alcohol, it's some dangerous threat. And I remember this one girl on the team event, it was team building. And on the team buildings, we pay the client some fictive money because they are doing good in those tests, and they usually get something like 500 for one good hit. And to this one, we had to pay about 2,000 just to stop throwing because everybody felt endangered by her throws. So sometimes you need to, put them a little bit, give them something in return of your own safety, if you know what I mean. It was fun.
funny.
Yeah.
Okay, let's drink. Yeah, forgetting to drink.
Cheers.
Cheers. And what was the most like I won't say, like, I don't want to say difficult, but the most, like, not funniest group, but interesting to handle, let's say.
Yeah. In the old times when I was still going with my father to make the paintballs, I think I was around 13 or 14 years old, and we were waiting on our outside field, Sinda, for one group of 150 players that was supposed to be on time because of the bus. And frankly speaking, not me or not my dad were very good in English at that time. So all we do with the rules was explaining them with our hands, showing what to do. They eventually come, and we don't have enough time to make the rules for that long as we wish it to be. But we tell them the most important rules: keep the mask on, how to shoot the weapon. But it's a group of 150 people, and not everybody is listening the whole time. So after the end of the event, we have guys smiling, white smiles, giving our back the weapons, expressing that they had the best time. But when I look at the weapon, I've seen that it's not even unlocked. So all they was doing in the field was trying to shoot, but just shoot blanks because the weapon was saved. But everybody around them was firing, so they thought they were firing too, and they had a great time. So sometimes it's very hard to.
They were not shooting at all?
They not some of them did. Let's say 50 people did, but the rest of them didn't shoot once. But they didn't see because they heard shots all around them, so they thought that they were firing too. So they had a great time.
So if they had a great time, it's not so important if they were shooting or not.
Yeah, maybe they were pacifists. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but it's all about like having a good time. Like when you have like people coming for a party and having good time. And we usually have like the big part of all the program. It's a pub crawl when we are taking group like for the pubs and restaurants and clubs in town, like in the city center. And usually there is a strip club, of course, included because it's a Stag party. And once I had a group where Stag was having the best time in his life because he got on a stage and he started to dance on a pylon, like he was trying to make a striptease or something, like provide some show. And it was fun. And security, of course, they were watching at him, but we said, okay, it's a Stag party, so they let him finish his small show.
His number?
Yeah, his small show. And yeah, so he finished and we continued to have fun. Yeah, but girls were a little bit like angry because he was taking all attention, of course.
I hope he at least get good tips.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah. So we have a little bit different activities, but sometimes also, yeah. But also exciting.
I can only imagine.
Yep. And you told that you're working like also with some companies, like company like parties and like team buildings.
Yeah.
Or like.
Exactly. Yeah, we have many kinds of these team buildings. We have, for example, the mafia party, where we all dress up as some mafia bosses and trying to renovate the thing that people are thinking it was in that time. So the clients will become the headmasters of some families, and they are trying to fulfill some role we will give them. For example, playing on the roulette. We have many activities, including paintball, airsoft, axe throwing, and stuff like that, shooting with the arrows. So it's always very fun. If people hold their drinks, that is.
Yep. So, cheers.
Cheers. I'm gonna need to go for a refill.
Yeah. You also prepared the big carafe, or you're gonna make a cocktail?
Yeah, I have everything.
Yeah, nice.
Sprite and vodka.
Fully prepared. I can see the organizer. So
Yeah.
I think it's fun to doing something like from like 12 years old. It's like you
Yeah,
used to be like
it's
a small organizer undercover, and now
yeah. I'm trying my best to keep improving every time. What I do most like about this work is that it's a different energy from the people, because if you're working anywhere else, you can tell if people are going to you, it can be sometimes draining. But in here, it's not, because people are having to have a good time with us, and they also bring this kind of energy with them. So it's very easy to have fun with them. So that's what I like the most. I basically just every day, if I'm working, I'm just playing. That's the best part about this work, because you can make infinite amount of games just with your mind. For example, I have one friend who have really hard time having good time while paintballing, because he was
Mhm.
used to different adrenaline in his life, because he was a climber. He was climbing
Okay.
8,000 high mountaintops, and so paintball, just the regular shooting, wasn't for him. So he asked me to make some special game for him, and I did. We call it the Gold Diggers, and
Okay.
the fun in this game is that I was imagining, because he wanted to feel the real rush, and I was imagining what's the real rush in paintball when you get the most adrenaline in your body, and it's when you're out of ammo, of course. So I thought that we will send everybody into the field without any ammunition, and because we are using rubber balls, it's possible to just pick them from the ground. So at the time, I told them, okay, guys, you will go to the field. There will be two teams. It was 4 against 4, my friend in one team. And once the game starts, you're allowed to open your loaders and pick the bullets inside of the loaders. And I thought that
Okay.
this game will stay, let's say, 10 minutes maybe. No, 1 minute was enough for him, because he just go down, take 4 bullets into his loader, clap it, go around them from the other side, and just shoot them in the asses while they were still picking full loaders for them. So after this, I always tell the clients, once you hear somebody's clipping their loader, do the same and prepare for a battle, because they are coming.
You have nice friends.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here is George came from Bucharest bachelor party.
Hello, George. Welcome
Thank
to
you.
party.
He's saying we have a nice show, so thank you, George. I hope you're doing great. I hope you also have a drink. Okay, what's my favorite activities to take the group to? I like a pub crawl, because during the pub crawl you have a chance to know the group better. You're sitting in a pub, like you're chatting, you can ask them like how they're connected to Stag, like if they're friends or family. So I really like it. And also I like some activities like we are taking them, like for example, for boat ride. It can be like, because Prague is nice, if it's nice weather, we're outside, we also can have a grill party on the boat. It's also nice. So yeah, I think like all of course I like that to take them to a paintball and other activities, but for me, like activities I can take part on like with them, so it's more like about pub crawls and other stuff like that. Yep. And also I remembered one funny story about the paintball, because I think it was the easiest group I've ever had. They were 28 guys, which is not really easy to handle, like so many people, but they were all from some special forces, I think. So they were not from the army, but they were like trained, like really good. So they were going like one person. Somebody was like head of the group, so it was super easy. And they, of course, they came to the paintball because they used to that kind of military activities. and it was really fun because they gave Stag like 5 minutes, like to they were not shooting him. And then after those 5 minutes, they gave him a helmet and they told the rules. So he's gonna be dead only if somebody shoot him in a helmet. So, and next 2 hours, they were really hunting him, hunting him really bad all around the field, and nobody was shooting in the helmet. So it was really, it looked like really like war or something. So it was really fun to watch. Okay,
Not
this
so
is a
much for the
question
guy.
for Tomasz.
Okay.
Do you party with groups which came to your activities?
Well, not usually, because when we have groups that come to our activities, they usually taken to some other places, but sometimes they ask for directions where to go to some pop crawl if they have free time. So I suggest those places, and sometimes I meet them there, so that's fun.
Nice. Yeah. I also like this job because I like to interact with people, and they're all different. They're all coming with different stories, and it's super fun. So when you're
It's
meeting
true.
new people, and yeah, and also a Stag party, they're going to get married, so usually they're coming with a friend or with a family, so it's nice. But once I had a really fun story because I got a group from the hotel. We went to the pub crawl, and before I usually speaking with the best man because sometimes Stag he doesn't know what's going on because we have a lot of surprise activities like midget or roly poly. I can tell you about that later. And I usually ask best man okay, hello, my name is Elena. I'm gonna be with you this weekend for the Stag party, and I'm asking if Stag knows the program. And I spoke with the best man. Everything was fine, so I took them. We went we came to the pub. We were sitting there, and I started to interact with the group, and I asked the Stag okay, nice to meet you. So when's gonna be the wedding? And he told me that he canceled the wedding. It was a month before the wedding. He canceled everything. They had a castle booked somewhere in Spain, so they broke up. They canceled the wedding, and he told me it's not gonna be the wedding. And I was like, sorry. And then I asked the best man, why nobody told me? Why you did it to me? And they told me that, okay, he canceled it, but silver lining in all this story was that he canceled it by himself. Nobody cheated. Nothing bad happened. So he just decided that he doesn't want to get married. But they had already Stag organized from our nice company, so they came and they had a really good time. And while we were going around the city, he was talking with somebody really nicely on the phone. So me and the other guys, we decided that it's gonna be another Stag party soon because maybe he's already has a girlfriend. So yeah, it was fun. So you can
He
say
made the most
fun.
of it.
Yeah, but they were having a really good time. So I'm saying.
That's what's important.
Yep.
Once we have a group in our paintball field, it was a game where there was bride and husband playing against each other, which is not a good
Nice.
idea if you ask me, because what happened next is well, let's say we have one rule that come from this situation. In a paintball, you are not allowed to shoot behind corners if you don't see where are you aiming. And it was because this husband, they were already wet, put his weapon against the corner, and on the corner there was a lady, his lady, the bride. And they took the weapon so it goes under the mask and into her neck, and he shot like 3 times,
Oh.
and it wasn't nice at all. I don't think this marriage hold because of what I heard later from the bride. So it's not always good to take your bride to paintballing, and if so, just follow the safety rules.
He was trying to kill her.
Yeah, maybe he just on the last minute he just think to himself, nah.
Okay, here's Veronica. Nice to see you,
Hello,
Veronica.
Veronica.
He's saying that she was there, like, we had an amazing time with you on a cruise in Prague last year, and we are planning to come again as soon as the borders open. Can we make the cruise in October too? Of course, Veronica, we would be glad to make some activities and other cruise for you. Just contact our company. Really nice to hear from you. Really appreciate it. Yay. Yeah, I told you about these like surprise activities that we are making, and one of them also it's on a cruise. Oh, Veronica saying amazing. Thank you. Cheers. It's also on a cruise. Usually the group is coming and there is a girl's like striptease girl. She's hiding inside the boat. So we are coming. And she's hiding, and when she's then just music starting and she's coming out, but usually groups ordering for the Stag, it's called Trolley Poly, and it's I won't be bad, but it's a really old woman, usually really big one, and she's dancing for the Stag, and it's more about like if you're organizing dangerous activities, we are also organizing dangerous activities for the Stag, because she's like sitting on him and doing some other like nasty stuff to him, so it's fun.
For the group at least.
Yep. Do you have a drink?
I still have
Tomasz?
a lot of.
Still have? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's time to pour more. Yep. So I hope soon the borders will be open, and we're gonna have our favorite groups back and provide some activities, also paintball and other stuff. So yeah. Yeah, but I'm still thinking about this guy who shooted his bride. It's fun. So, what else? Yep. Yeah, but here in Czech Republic, we are like from this Monday, if I'm not mistaken, already all shops gonna be open, and I think these like outside places at the restaurants, so you already can have a drink, like, but just outside.
Yeah.
And
in the front
and
of
from
the restaurant you can.
Yes, but from the 25th it's gonna be open like fully, like even like inside.
Hope so. I wasn't at the drink for so long. I'm hoping.
Yeah, Marcel is asking how you're handling these hard times. We're trying to stay positive, making some streams for you to tell you some positive, like funny stories to make you also stay positive, and it's gonna be good soon. So let's drink for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Veronica saying that I will definitely add paintball to my activities. And Tomasz looks like such a sweetheart.
Thank you, Veronica.
See, Tomasz? And Anna saying that she's watching us from the car, so no drinks. But on my way to McDonald's, so I'll get some burgers for you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
So we are drinking and you're eating. So Nice.
The full circle here.
Yep. Yeah, but I was surprising, for example, in Prague, how fast, for example, restaurants, even like some restaurants who never had a delivery or wasn't working with a delivery, they really fast start to do it, because like how it's like changed and was really convenient for people.
I believe this is in Czech nature. I even have one like story. It's from the ages when there was still I'm not quite sure how to call it in English, but it was a similar illness that's coming around now.
Okay.
It was some 16th century. It was an illness that was spread by rats, and to fight this, they have a system in each country. It worked perfectly. They paid some coins for the rat tails. Yeah, and of course, except for Czech Republic, that worked because people just kill the rats, bring tails, get money. In Czech Republic, because we are always thinking a little bit differently, they made rat farms. So they just farm the rats, chop the tails, bring it somewhere, infinite money. So in here, you always find some way around.
Czech Republic is the best place to make a business.
Yeah.
Even with the red tails. You see, Thomas, you will have a girlfriend soon. Veronica saying you're such a sweetheart.
Veronica.
So yeah, not just a new client. Yep. Yeah, I remembered we have also fun activity for our Stag parties. It's called Fake Girlfriend. It starts in Las Vegas, because in Las Vegas you can get married like straight away. You can come to the this chapel, like small chapel, and get married like in 10 minutes. So what groups were doing when they were having like Stag parties in Las Vegas, they were like buying drinks for the Stag to make him like super drunk. Then he fell asleep and he wake up, and there was a girl like lying near him, and she's having already a ring, and she was saying like, "Oh, hello, hubby." We got married yesterday. And we were making something slightly different, because it's not allowed to get married so fast here, but there is like Stag is waking up with a girl. This girl just coming in the morning and just lie down to his bed and just saying like, "Oh, it was so great yesterday." And it was so funny. Yeah, my colleagues were saying like, one Stag was saying like, oh god, what happened, why I did that, he was so upset. But then he told like, the worst part, I don't remember anything. Okay, I did it, but I don't remember anything. So
Was there any of these clients that have a sudden change of heart and want to stay with the one you prepared for him?
No, I just had the group which cancelled it even before they came to the Stag party. So yeah, so fun. And what's sorry, this came to my mind. Is it do you have to be like super like physically fit and prepared for the paintball, or you can be like not so military man like to play paintball?
Yeah. Well, you can play paintball in all ages and in all forms that you are. I mean, I even had one guy playing a sport paintball, and he was this like, just big target, big guy. But he has his own plus, because in a professional paintball, you're playing with inflatable obstacles, so they are just big bumps.
Okay.
And you are mostly hiding very close to that bump, so nobody can hit you. And this guy was a specialist on running onto something that somebody was already holding up. And when he, jump on it, the guy was holding just fly away. So everybody in paintball has his own role.
Okay, so you just can go and push everybody.
Yeah, and he just went outside.
So it's basically for any kinds of like physical shape.
Even even for I had one of my friends. He was at the time 50, and he was a pacifist. He never wanted to have a gun in his hands, but we made him play anyways, and he wasn't so much happy about it. But after the game, he came back. He has eyes like this. And he was telling me, "Oh my God, I was like sniper at Stalingrad. I was just lying on the floor, and if I see somebody just run around me, I hit him. Best day of my life." So even for elderly, good game.
So you're making like even from pacifists like
Yeah,
paintball fans.
yeah. I always thought he's a pacifist. He told me many times, but as I see, he was just a sniper in hiding.
Fun. Yep. So, and you have paintball, airsoft. What else? Like what kind of activity?
We
Like
have
we
junior
told this
paintball.
axe.
That's a
Oh, okay.
Yeah, throwing access. We have junior paintball too, which is good for children up to 12 years old, but even older people can play because it's not so much painful. Actually, the youngest
Oh, okay.
girl I have playing was 6 or 5 year old. She was really small. And at the time, there was like this event when we took children's from like special homes from Slovakia to Czech Republic to let them play some of our activities. And the reball there was actually planned for older children, like 12 years older. But this one small, she really wants to play. So I was telling to her, aunt, they call them, that it's not good for her to play. And she told me, "Don't worry, she's a badass." And I was okay. Well, it's up to you. And she went to play. She, of course, get few hits, and she started crying, And I was come to her, "Okay, are you all right,
Oh.
darling?" And she was, "Yes." I was trying to take her weapon, but I could not. She just hold it very, very tight, and she was very firm on continuing to play. So she did all 1 hour, and that was my youngest player, 5 year old. She was
Nice.
very tough.
Yeah, girl power.
Yeah.
Nice. So let's drink.
Okay. I hope I can
Cheers.
still stand after this.
Let's see. We still don't need to go anywhere. Only from Monday we can go
Yeah, my bed
outside
is
to the
closed.
restaurant and have a drink. Yep. What else? Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. So you told me this. I found it really interesting. This mafia game. Do you have any other like kinds of how to
Yeah,
say
pretty much.
styled activities?
Yeah. We can do pretty much everything. I remember even one time there was a company that hired us to like kidnap their boss from a meeting. So we did.
Nice.
We even took costumes out of Czech television. It was for some like a series about like aliens, So we had these nice costumes on us, and we made a tape on which was our boss speaking, but backwards. We all need to learn backwards speaking for this task, and they just bring us to the hotel. We need to go outside of the car from there, speak only backwards, and take their boss with us, so they can later, based on a videotape we give them, find the location of him. Yes, so we did. Everything went perfect. We let one guy of us close to the woods where we built the field for this event, and we told him, "Okay, Tono, you go just this way up. It's longer, but we need some time to prepare. So you just go this way up, and there is going to be some shooting, and after that they will finally escape with their boss." Yeah. So on the paper everything looked good, but sometimes happens that your colleague is too lazy to follow the instructions. So he actually went
Nice.
around us. So from a battle that was supposed to be around 2 hours was a 15-minute escape from our positions, because from nowhere just 20 people appeared shooting in our backs. So we run as fast as we can. And after that we said, "Okay, so you saved your boss, but here let's have 2 more games. You shoot against each other. We're gonna join something. And everybody had a good time, but I still feel the pain in my back.
Yeah, for some change, next time we can invent something like that. We can kidnap the Stag,
Yeah.
and then they can find him, and then they can shoot him
Yeah,
after
yeah.
they find him.
That's a nice
Because
change.
it's the funniest part to shoot the Stag.
Yeah.
Usually, like when I'm taking like groups to the paintball activities, they usually have some costumes like a bunny or something, or like
Huh?
Pikachu, some kind of like animal costume, and then they're like hunting him. So
Hunting him.
yeah, so it's fun. Is it painful when like paintball ball like shooting you?
Yes, yes, it is. I
Nice.
would lie, but in that fire, you know, when once you are on the field, you don't feel it that much because there is adrenaline running through your body,
Oh,
so you cannot feel that actually. So if it's your like first, second play, of course, after that you just become used to it. But it's nothing bad. It's just like the bee stings you.
a lot of bees. I think it's really nice that we have like different activities, and like we're going to pub crawl. We have some like I would say like nice time on the boat, like more lazy, and then we are going to play something like that, like airsoft or paintball or some some kind of that activities like to make your blood run faster. So
Yeah,
so
it's fun.
it's fun. I also remembered about these surprise activities, like I told you about this roly poly. We can also like group can have a midget. It's also all the time it's a surprise, and we are just sitting in a bar, and the midget coming and then handcuffed to the Stag, like a small guy, and he's all the time like punching him or like doing some jokes or all the stuff, and then we are going somewhere around the Prague, and everybody's like laughing and taking pictures, and also like all guys taking pictures.
That's crazy.
So yeah, you can have a lot of weird activities here with us.
That's fun.
Let's drink. Susie Show is greeting
Hello,
us,
Susie.
and she's asking if any paintball organizers ever got hurt. If you
Yeah,
yeah
many times, especially the new guys, because they don't know how to well stand in the field. Because if you don't want to get hit, you need to always look at the lines, because the customers, they are always shooting in a straight line, and if you see that you are in some place where there is no customers around you, you are safe. You cannot get hit because nobody wants to hit you on purpose. But this guy, he was new, and he was standing really close to one guy which doesn't know about him, and he just pops out of the obstacle and shoot him, well, right into the bell, if I may say so.
Oh
So
God!
yeah, it was hurtful. He finished the day because he's a tough guy, but then he needs to go to the hospital because he was playing only in shorts and nothing else really. So sometimes we have.
So, but he's okay now.
He's okay now. Yeah, everything is working perfectly, as his girlfriend saying. So I will believe her.
So it's fun.
Yeah.
A little bit dangerous, but fun. I don't know which is
it
more
is.
like.
He's still working for us, so I think he get
Okay.
past it.
Okay, Anna is asking if I tried some activities with our group, so it's not allowed. It depends, but I tried some activities. And here is a lot of people chatting with us in Reach, saying that we have a nice show. So also
Thank you,
greeting you,
guys.
have a drink with us. And Suzy Show asking, he still got new nickname, didn't he? I think it's about that guy with like.
Yeah. We call him wrong now.
So, yep. So it's really nice that like in that time we have these kind of chats or like Skype and all these video calls, so we still can keep in touch with you guys and with each other. Yeah, because otherwise it would be not so pleasant to speak in a lockdown.
Yeah, let's hope they will raise the lockdown soon.
Yeah, we can even have a drink like online.
Yeah.
You see, I'm doing pretty good.
Wow.
Come on, guide to the Stag parties.
You're trained.
No, actually, it's not. I'm not drinking when I'm with a group. A lot. So have you? And what about you? Have you ever get hurt like when you or shot when you were with a group?
I don't really feel that anymore because I was playing since I was 12 years old. And actually, my first game, I remember the most pain because it was with my father, and we had some spare time after the after the game, so we went 1-on-1 in our field in Barrow, which is basically some like old quarry, and there is not many places to hide. So I was hidden on the spot he already knew about. So he just went around me and shoot me 12 times in the back. So that's the most pain I feel in a paintball. I was 12 years old. And since then, I'm pretty used to it actually. Doesn't feel it anymore. Get used to it.
So more you get shooted, more you're getting used to it.
Yeah, exactly. Even the bruises are not so bad as it used to be in the old times.
Okay, Enrich is asking, hey Thomas, you talked about axe throwing. Is it quite new in Czech, isn't it? Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, the axe throwing is actually activity we have since last summer, I think we made it. And it's a pretty good activity. I myself like to try a lot of those if I'm allowed. And it's fun. There is many types of things that you can throw, actually. We have ranges from small knives, bigger knives, axes, two-hand axes. So pretty much everything. You firing that on the target. And it's a pretty good activity. There is only one activity I like more, if I'm not counting a paintball, and that's destroy your own car. Because we have car here in Prague, many cars, and well, if you pay the money, you can just get a sledgehammer, baseball bat, and things like that, and let your rage on that car. So it's a really good one.
Yeah, everything is like. I think this axe throwing, I also tried it, but I think boys is having a lot of fun. Everything which is like you can do boom with like paintball.
Exactly.
Everything, it's really fun.
It's awesome activity.
I like it too.
You're learning.
Yep. Just like safety first, as all the time I'm saying. Like, yeah, because when you're throwing axes, you have to pay attention.
That's true.
Yep. Yeah, Enrich saying, I just wanted to ask you about the demolition, and you already told that.
That's my favorite part.
Okay, so have you ever destroyed a car?
Not entirely.
No, I'm not asking about your car.
Trying.
I'm asking about.
I see.
About
so
demolition.
In that case, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a hard thing to do, but it's good for your chi, for your energy. You just space off.
Just like,
yeah,
put
exactly.
it out.
All the bad energy outside.
But I think it's the same also with the paintball, even with the
Exactly.
axe throwing. Everything like when
Yeah.
you like put some action in, you're like kind of like free yourself. It's a really
That's true.
nice like how to say pacifist way like to free yourself.
Yeah, to get
without like
rid of the
hurting.
anger within.
Yes,
anything.
without hurting a lot like people. I won't say without hurting, but without hurting a lot.
That's true.
Yep. That scary guy is still with you somewhere. How you can have it like near you and speak so normally? This ugly baby, you showed it to me. Like,
yeah, I'm just trying not to think about him. He's still looking at me, you know.
It's difficult because even I still thinking about it.
Yeah. Imagine in a washing room when he just rotates like this. It's really great.
No.
I'm still scared of him. He belongs in the summer locked.
Enrich is asking one question for Elena. Do you have some salt pepper experience with guys on a stag? So it depends what you like naming like pepper experience. Like, of course, it's a stag party. We have some strippers, and we're going to like the strip clubs. It can be considered as a pepper experience, but like for us it's the most important like stay professional, and like I'm a guide and I'm providing like the best time for the group, so we are trying to be like that's why I'm saying like I like the pub crawls, because you're kind of building the like relationship with the group. They trust you, and this is my work, like so I won't say something like extreme ever happened. So, so Thomas, thank you so much for this talk.
Thank you. Thank you for having
slowly me. Because, yeah, we had already.
I started falling out of the chair already.
Yep. I still have. I don't know if I'm going to finish it today or keep it for tomorrow. I think I prepared a lot.
Yeah, the time runs really quick when people having fun.
So, thank you so much. I hope Anna is saying very nice show. Thank you so much. I think soon we're gonna meet each other in person and
let's hope
continue
each other in
all activities. Okay, thank you everybody who was watching our show. It was really nice because we also we are trying to support you, but we also need some support here. So yeah, like having here drinks with all of you was really nice. So everybody have a nice weekend and stay tuned. I hope we're gonna make Anna saying look forward for the next show. Yeah, we're gonna have like more shows. So yeah. So what about you, Tomasz? How do you like our
I really like this
TELE
talking.
Drink?
It's a long time till I was in this window. And let's hope I will see you guys on some of our games.
I'm on my own, broken alone. I feel the rain crashing down. All around this empty town, I'm searching for the lost and found. But you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air, like a blazing flare. Just there cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. Kiss your head when you cried. You meant the world to me. My darling dear, you're never here. When I'm in pain, you hide and disappear. Like shadows in the atmosphere, trying to stratosphere. Yeah. I prayed for you and kept you near in hopes you chase away my fears. I'm on my own, you made it so, and now I'm chasing nightmares for you. Running through the great big leaves, laughing you when you laugh at me. Hope for us because I believe the home is just you and me. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I give you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. You meant the world to me. You meant the world to me. Oh, I'm gonna do this on my own. No point in blaming you, you did not know. Oh, I thought you were the one for me. That's why I give you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. You meant the world to me. You meant the world to me. Oh, I'm gonna do this on my own. No point in blaming you, you did not know. Oh, I'm gonna do this on my own. No point in blaming you, you did not know. Oh, I thought you were the one for me. That's why I give you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me.
I'm never gonna let you go, never gonna say goodbye, no. Never gonna give you up. I'm never gonna let you go, never gonna say goodbye, no. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna give, never gonna give. Never gonna give, never gonna give, never gonna give you up. Never gonna give, never gonna give. Never gonna say goodbye, no.